Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pasture Farm. I'm actually over on what we call Marshall's. This is the 40 acres that Jan and I bought from one of Marshall's daughters. That would have been in, gosh, what year was that? 2017. So about 7 years ago. And this is part of 160 acres, which we still control the whole 160. The other daughter that got the other 80, she kept hers. But between another landowner and myself, we were able to buy the other 80. We bought 40 and they bought 40. And this was a really rundown farm when we got it. Looky there. That is cool. My old friend Eastern Gamma Grass decided to take root over here at Marshall's. Used to be a barn right there, and it fell down. It was just really bad shape. And I had Johnny dig a hole over there and we buried it. All the metal, nails, everything went in the hole. It's right there. It's got some green stuff growing over the top of it. But this was all bare ground. Now we're getting up into the better part of it. So you're gonna go with me on this journey. We're gonna climb this hill and see what we got looking at us in this pond. I'm not real hopeful that we can use it yet. It went through 2.5 years of drought. This pond was built, that's the dam we're looking at right there. It's an old pond. It was built with horses back in like 1910. And I had it dug out in 2017 when we bought it. So Johnny cut the dam, pushed all the mud. There must have been 40 million tadpoles came out of that pond, went down this valley in mud. This pond was about 1 foot deep, and it had around 10 foot of mud in it, 10 feet. Because Marshall, bless his heart, a lot of the old timers, heck, people still today, they let their cattle into the pond and destroyed it. Ponds cost a lot of money, folks. Don't let your cows in the ponds. I don't know how many times I keep harping on that, but you know, you go on a trip, go down the interstate on a hot day like today in Missouri, 95% of the ponds will have black cattle swimming around in them like hippopotamuses. Wow, look at that. Folks, when we built this, we had all this bare soil on this dam. We unrolled big blue stem. And the big blue stem bales were old when they were baled, so very mature, had a lot of seed. Here it is right here. There's one that went to seed. Looks like a turkey foot. And so this hay had all that big blue stem seed in it. Look at that. Wow. Unbelievable. I know one place the cows are gonna be happy. All right, if y'all are betting, folks, do y'all think we can use this pond? There's a pipe in the bottom of it, and the pipe's showing last time I was over here. And I would say with all the forage that we have around this pond, the only water that runs into this pond is what falls in it, because it doesn't have any runoff. So here we go. I'm an optimistic person, but I still have my doubts that it's going to be covering the pipe. The pressure is on, Greg. Here we go. What do we got? Oh! I don't believe it. We can use it. The pipe's covered. Not by much. Not by much. But it's covered. This pond never did dry up, but look how low it is. See, it could come up another 7 feet. But the pipe is covered. Wow, look at the big blue stem around here. Holy mackerel. So I stuck a stick in the pond last time I was here, which would have been about 30 days ago. Don't trip. Oh, look at the fish. Nice bluegill. There's bluegill and bass in here. There's little bluegills. Takes little bluegills to grow big bass. And there's a grass carp in here. I think I need more than one. The reason I didn't put any more in here, I'm thinking they're gonna die because it's gonna dry up. There's the post. The boys actually ran the pipe. We glued on a piece and ran it clear out in the middle of that pond so that we could use this tire tank. I'm gonna grab the stick if I don't know where my boots. Ah. Oh, I got it. Okay, now I'm gonna stick it in the water right here. Okay. Now I'll know there's my stick. If I come back next time, let's hope it's up here where this foot is. But you know, it's July. You don't get rain in July in Missouri. Typically, we are. We got 4 inches the end of June, 1st of July. And then we got another 1.25 inches. And then last night, or yesterday, we got 1.5 inches. Oh yeah, we can use that. See that? Now there's not a lot of water over it, but 60% chance of rain. I think this weekend, maybe we'll get some more rain. There's a lot of water in that pond. I just wish we had that pipe when we dug it. Of course, we put it right on the very bottom, pretty close. I mean, the bottom's clear out there, of course. Hindsight, I wish I could have got that pipe down another 3 foot, but I don't know. You know, you're always learn. But another thing I learned, folks, is don't build a pond where you don't have any runoff. This one has no runoff, except for the top of the hill, right here, down. Now somebody said, well, what about that hill up there? Could you go in there and knock that bank down and run you a terrace from those trees all the way down to this pond? You know, basically a diversion ditch where when the water hit that terrace, it would guide it all the way down to this pond. Gosh, I mean, I could do that, but man, am I gonna destroy some grass. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute. That's some of the best grass on the farm right up there. And you know, our topsoil here, folks, is 2 to 3 inches. So when you go in and move clay to put in a terrace, you're never gonna grow anything where you took all that clay off. I'm sorry, all the topsoil, and now you're left with that yellow, whitish, reddish clay. It won't grow anything but ragweed. I just hate to sacrifice. I don't know. I just don't know. Here's our tire tank. There it is. Folks, all this out here is the mud. We had to let it set a good while and let the water drain out, but this is all artificial height right here. From there, clear over almost that utility pole. This is all fill that came out of that pond. I mean, we spent some money on that pond and thought we had a really good pond. And come to find out, when you get in a 2.5, 3 year drought, we didn't have a good pond. Well, there it is. Still got the valve. We got to put the arm on it. It's got a drain there. We can pull that drain out and get all that moss out of there. The drain runs down over the hill right there. But we can use it. We just got to put our arm with our float on it right here. That's a 2-inch brass valve. And over there where that red pole is for our shut off. So right now the pond is shut off. We can open that and we're gonna have water here. And we have a nice rock pad. We got our cedar, 8x8s all the way around it. And this is 15 ton of 1.5-inch rock. Of course, that's an earth moving tire, brand new one. Got that from a tire recycling center. This one tank waters everything you see here. About 80 acres. Not quite 80, probably 60 acres. Because we got another pond up there on top, and it's full. But let's walk up above this pond where I'm gonna put the terrace. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. What I've got to tear up. And then folks, this is what grows. This is a lance-leaf ragweed. So this is all that old fill out of that pond, and it's just not the best grass growing medium right now. Probably need to come in here in the wintertime and unroll a bunch of hay right here, carbon. And that'll really get it going. But there's our big blue stem. It's all in here. Look at that. I love big blue stem. The cattle love it. It's a great forage for wildlife too, because they can book around in it, they can hide in it. It doesn't have the endophyte. My gosh, look at it. Wow. This is impressive. So this hasn't been grazed since the winter time. And I think we fed about 15 bales on it this last winter. They were all stored along that woods line up there. We unrolled them with the Greg Judy bale unroller on an ATV. That's why you park your hay up on top of the hill. So in the winter you can go down with it. You park it at the bottom of the hill and you get a foot of snow, you're not going to be able to unroll your hay with a four-wheeler. Put it up on the top. I tell you what, this is like walking through 2 foot of snow. Man, it just grabs at your feet. Holy moly. Okay, so now I'm in the watershed. Or it could be a watershed. Man, I hate to plow this up. You know, you'd have to bring in a small dozer. Oh gosh, what a beautiful stand of grass. I've got one other option, and that is that creek down there. When we get a really good gully washer, I'm talking 2 or 3 incher. That creek down there is not very big, but it runs a lot of water. It drains about 400 to 500 acres. And so it's about 1 foot deep. I've already measured it. It's 540 feet from that creek to that pond. Folks, if I ever filled that pond up, so I'm thinking a trash pump with a 3 or 4 inch water hose hooked to it. Of course, you'd have to fuel it, with diesel. Or if you use the electric pump, you'd have to have a generator. But if you had a 4 inch flow of water going into that pond, you could fill it up. And it wouldn't take too long. Probably could fill it up in 24 hours. Once it's full, I don't think it's gonna go down. That pond does not have a leak in it. I've never seen a seep in it. It was built in 2017, so that's 7 years ago. I think if we got it brim full, we'd be there. We would never run out of water again. Well, let me back up. I shouldn't say never. Because, you get droughts, you don't know how long they're gonna last. That last one we had was a booger. Everybody complained about 2012. And 2012 was bad, but the last 2.5 years was worse. And that's because it hit us 2 years in a row. We never got a chance to rebuild any soil moisture, and we just got hit again. But I just can't see myself digging this up and putting a terrace in here. I just can't. It goes against every fiber in my body to tear up this beautiful stand of grass to divert more water into this pond. Or if I filled it up, I know I'm using a little fuel to do that, but it's a one-time deal. Because folks, when this pond was full, it came out the spillway over there. It was only a foot deep, but it never, ever, ever went dry. Even in those bad droughts, this pond never went dry. The problem with it was you would have cattle get stuck trying to drink from it because it didn't have a pipe in it. The banks on it were super, super spongy. And literally, I mean, you'd find cows stuck. And I don't know if anybody's pulled out a stuck cow, but that is one of the most unpleasant things on the farm. And the reason is, most of the time when you pull them out, you never get them back up. That's right. You've got an animal that cannot get back up. So, not exactly what you want when you're in the livestock business. Look at all this big blue stem. My goodness. Yeah, so in a really, really hard rain, from about where I'm standing right here to the edge of that pond, this would run into that pond, but it's only 30 feet, you know. And then Isaac and I have a standing joke with this pond. We always ask ourselves, I wonder how much it came up. We go look at the rain gauge and it's 1.5 inches, and like, well, we know it came up 1.5 inches because the rain gauge caught 1.5 inches. Look at that. Wild rye. Where did that come from? Wild rye. Another neat, diverse species in our pastures. Man, I tell you what, folks, there is a ton of foraging. So, I'm glad I came over and looked at it. We're going to be able to use the pond on this rotation. And I just need to do some more fact checking on this trash pump. And I welcome any comments, any of you all plumbers out there or construction folks that have to pump water out of basements and such. Any information I can get on trash pumps, how effective they are, how far can I pump water. So I'm going 550 feet and I don't have a transit, so I don't know the height. But just guessing, I've probably got 60 to 70 feet of lift. Well, you look at that utility pole right there behind the dam, right there. Okay, so that's a 40-footer. And the dam, well, you know, maybe it's only 30 feet. And that utility pole's down in the bottom, even with the creek close anyway. So I've got about 30 feet, 30 foot of lift to get water up to here. That would be so cool to see this pond coming out the spillway. And then once we get it full, I think it can maintain its height between dry spells. But, you know, it just never has filled up from the day we built it. It's a pretty pond. So anyway, I'll keep you tuned in on that. See how that goes. This is all deer. Look at that. Looks like a bunch of, you got cattle running in here. That's all deer. Sure enough. Well, folks, I'm going to get out of here. Those of you all new to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button. And we're going to be having some, well, right now we've got some really nice bulls posted on our website. There's 10 of them. There are 8 of them are South Poles. 2 of them are a cross. And good bulls. If you're looking for a herd bull, go to greenpasturesfarm.net. Check out those bulls on there. And fire me an email if you're interested. Take care.